Sweet Magnolias is back for a 4th season on Netflix, so get out your margaritas and let's see if this new season is worth your time. Season 4 of Sweet Magnolias takes us from Halloween to Christmas. While negotiating the twists and turns of their romantic lives, Maddie, Dana, Sue, and Helen must also navigate the return of old foes, the loss of great loves, and the pain of transition from past dreams to present ones. Sweet Magnolias is like Virgin River for me. It's a guilty pleasure. I understand that it's not like the best thing ever made on Netflix, but I do enjoy watching a new season of the characters in Serenity and exploring their lives. At the end of season 3, I didn't feel like there was this massive cliffhanger to transition into a 4th season to have that main focus going into this newest season. But the newest season on Netflix is mostly focused on personal growth. Our trio of friends, Maddie, Dana, Sue, and Helen, they're all going through personal things, and we see their friendship get stronger throughout the 4th season. But what they are trying to accomplish in here, they're taking on these new positions, and it starts to challenge them personally. They start to look at what they actually want in life, how they can challenge themselves in these new positions, and it just adds to that personal growth of these characters. You have a lot of times where they are all together relying on each other within this community, but there's enough dedication to each character as they are taking on personal storylines to move them in the next step forward. I love the storylines with Maddie and her fiance and her children, and seeing all of that grow, and watching her older son Ty start to express his love for Maddie. There's a lot of sweet moments when it comes to some relationships outside of the main trio, and I love that about Sweet Magnolias is that it dedicates a lot of time to its minor characters. If it's the children of the trio citizens that live in Serenity, you get that understanding of this community. They're very close-knit, they rely on each other throughout, and the town is going through changes as well. The library is losing its funding. They all rally together to try to protect it. There's a storm that happens and they all have to feed each other and protect each other. So there's a lot that the community goes through within this 4th season. And with all of the growth within the community, it starts to affect certain relationships within season 4. There's a lot of different storylines going on in here, with Isaac looking for his father, Annie and Ty dealing with senior year. There's a lot of interesting storylines that go on within here, and a lot of them are very sweet and add to the charming atmosphere within Serenity. I love watching these characters naturally develop and seeing certain relationships blossom throughout the seasons. And I love that they are all starting to come together. We have more characters that join the storyline, and they just all kind of just come together, and you feel all of that love within season 4. The best thing about season 4 is that personal growth for these characters. Maddie is writing her children's story, and Dana Sue is taking on new positions throughout the community, and Helen is also taking on new positions that starts to challenge certain relationships. But we understand that they are very strong characters when they are all working together, and they have their margarita night. That's where they start to, not gossip, but start to rely on each other and express secrets and all of that. But there's enough dedication to watching these characters grow individually, and it just adds that strength to them, and see how they can contribute to Serenity in good ways. So I love watching all these characters grow throughout these 10 episodes of season 4, and the Halloween vibe is there, especially early on in the beginning, and you got a Christmas feel to it at the end of these 10 episodes. So you guys get this nice atmosphere. See how the town celebrates both Halloween and Christmas. I love that about season 4. Real quick, if you're interested in checking out season 4 of Sweet Magnolias, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. And if you have seen season 4, comment down below with your overall thoughts on the show. Now, I know Sweet Magnolias can be a little bit over the top and cheesy. I'm not sure if it's just season 4, if it's always been like this, but there is so much like metaphors when they are having conversations and like analogies about life and food and baseball. Like there was an episode early on where someone had an egg and someone said, crack this open, I want to see the mess inside your life. And then the character said, I don't want things to get messy.
You're gonna feel so dumb.
It's a lot like that within season 4, and many times I rolled my eyes. Many times it feels like not a natural conversation. A lot of it just feels absolutely forced and fake, and like that's not how people talk. People don't go around and talking to each other like having metaphors and having these very profound conversations about life just on a typical like Tuesday afternoon in the kitchen. A lot of it just feels very fake. And sometimes I laughed with how cheesy it was. Many times I rolled my eyes, but I like the characters and the love that they have for each other, but it was incredibly fake at times. And also a few characters in here, they become quite selfish. Characters have gone through many changes throughout these 4 seasons, and we've seen them argue at times. We've seen them start to take certain relationships head on, but within season 4 there's a couple characters, main characters, that act quite selfish. If it's regards to their partners or their friends, they make it all about them when it didn't need to be, and it's just trying to create drama within certain episodes to strengthen relationships. Very early on I see multiple times characters are making about them like, why didn't you tell me about this? We're not supposed to hold secrets. We're best friends. You're supposed to tell me everything. And the characters have their reasons for not telling them about things. And I fully understand holding back certain secrets because you are being trustworthy with certain information. And characters start to argue about that. Well, why didn't you tell me? I found that to be quite frustrating, especially coming from some main characters and how they had to make it about them. And that is a big issue that I had with certain characters, and it popped up multiple times. Like it didn't need to be this big argument. It just needed to accept that they didn't tell you about certain things and leave it at that and move on. So many times within it, it was cheesy. I rolled my eyes. I laughed with how bad some of the dialogue was, and characters made poor choices along the way. But overall, I did like season 4 of Sweet Magnolias for some of the personal growth for the characters. Watching the minor characters start to develop certain feelings for each other and seeing relationships grow throughout season 4. There's new challenges along the way. There's some dramatic scenes that did shock me and add a wrench into the show, but overall it's a good time. I love the community of Serenity and the overall vibe that the show has. It's very sweet, nurturing, warm throughout. It's got a positive feel to it, and I just love exploring this. I love exploring these characters. I do think the way that they ended season 4, it's starting to wrap itself up. You can kind of see where there's some closure going on for some characters, big storylines that could happen within a 5th season that eventually would wrap up too, and then just end the show. I believe season 5 could be the last season. They could possibly just split it into 2 parts like they do a lot recently with Netflix shows, but I think that season 4 of Sweet Magnolias was a good time and it's worth your watch. I'm gonna go ahead and give Sweet Magnolias season 4 a B-. Thank you guys for checking my review for Sweet Magnolias season 4. Have you guys seen it by chance? What'd you think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for more up and coming content like this. My name is Just Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.